So I'm here at the My Job Depends on Ag booth, and you guys should know who this guy is by now, Erik. He's been on a couple of my episodes, and I interviewed him last year. So I just came by to kind of check on how things are going. I know they've had a lot of growth since last year. Kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the the documentary, how the sales have been going, the page as a whole, kind of how you guys have grown as a community, however much you want to spell.
Yeah. So, man, lots of changes over the last year. Got the American Grown My Job Depends on Ag PBS docuseries that came out and this last fall. And that was about a year ago, started filming on that. And that has been a really exciting project, man. It's crazy to think that, two guys that just didn't really have a plan on anything other than just our passion for agriculture and end up morphed into this deal here. But it's that has been a real fun just really kind of interesting how they put things together as far as that. A guy that's out in the fields all the time don't see how they put film together. So that's been an interesting thing. Also, the same producer is getting ready to start another important docuseries called Tapped Out 2, another water documentary that he did. First was Tapped Out. It's Tapped Out 2. And what's going to be really cool, well, it won't be cool in this respect, but when he did Tapped Out, we had that tremendously wet year. Flooding everywhere, right? And right now, it's not looking too good with rain. So we're going to have maybe the contrast of what we did. We have all those images of all that rainfall and all that water from that year, contrasted to a year where we don't have much, and we can really talk about the missed opportunities from that year.
That'd be cool.
That's what it's going to be. So I want rain. Believe me, I want the rain, and I want a lot of it. And but if we have a drier year, it would be really great to show the two things. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Jeff puts that together. So as far as our group is concerned, we got a new member here. Yours truly over here, Brendan.
Join the admin crew.
Yeah, I asked Brendan to join the admin crew. We needed some younger minds and people that are passionate about agriculture that we could trust to be there to manage the page. And it's just on a volunteer effort on his part. So looking forward to him and that's what this next year does. So we're not going to hold him to a contract like you got to stick around forever, but it's great to come into contact with people like yourself, Brandon.
Yeah, no, I was more than happy to help, and getting that message is always nice to hear because that kind of shows I've made an impact as someone who's passionate about agriculture. So
Yeah,
to know that
right.
that's being recognized.
Yeah, and sometimes the younger kids, they have a different feel for social media than us older fogies do. I'm not a boomer, but I know what boomers do to they're wrecking the internet sometimes, right? But so social media, as far as that part, it continues to grow. But I can tell you, at 5 years, it's a challenge. It's something that is difficult, and you'll probably see very soon. A lot of the controversies that take place behind the scenes, and how to deal with stuff. So one thing that I've been thinking about doing as far as how we run the page is getting youth involved more. And I've run this by you before, is to have like plant science departments at ag universities, whether it's Fresno State or Cal Poly or something, have a admin takeover day. They would moderate our page or for a week or a month. Allow them to see what's going on behind the scenes and see how maybe it would be maybe even better for marketing students, I don't know, in agriculture, to see what they're up against out there.
Some communications kids, something
Yeah,
like that.
right. So.
And I think it's an excellent idea. Gets some new perspectives and
Yeah,
kind of gets
yeah.
some kids that have expertise in different areas to try to bring something new to the table.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and as being an admin and getting content, being looked at as someone that people may be waiting on to what the admin are saying on a daily basis. Everybody that's volunteered in the past and has worked with us in the past, they've done such an awesome job of creating some content. But after you do it for 4 or 5 years, it can be hard to come up with content. You get a little writer block, you get a little taxing sometimes. So I've learned a lot though with the Facebook part of yeah.
Has being in charge of this page, being an admin, being involved with the documentary, working on this project over the past 5-6 years, has that changed your perspective on not only the consumer and how you interact with them, but just like the agricultural industry as a whole, our role and how we communicate?
There's been some good things that come over, but it's really, I think, in some ways it demonstrates just how great our industry is in this respect. Is we have the opportunity to really nitpick at everything because we're well fed. And then when you're well fed, there's a lot of things to complain about other things. There's a lot of part, and it's I know for our civilization here in America, our people, it's probably very foreign for them to understand that most of the world's population spends half of their money on simply just trying to find something to eat. And so we're very fortunate. So those people, they're not too concerned about the things that our population is concerned about. There's a disconnect when you're struggling to feed yourself. And I think that, but because we have these first world problems, it demonstrates that agriculture has provided an opportunity for people to not think about what's for dinner, but they can think about what not to like about what's for dinner.
Yeah. No, I think that's an optimistic view on it.
Yeah.
We've got things so well off that people have things
Right.
to complain about. That's a good way of
Yeah. So most guys like, I'm like, oh, I can't wait to eat, but now you got this food, and it's like, why is that in here, and how's this growing, and this, that, and that. There's a more opportunity, and I don't think that people realize that we're so fortunate that we have that affluence, which agriculture is a big part of creating that. It's like we're kind of created our own monster here,
right.
In a lot of ways.
Which, I mean, we see it as a bad thing in the terms of, like, we have such a
Right.
I mean, really, it's not, like you were saying, the fact that it's a problem means that we're doing a good job.
Yeah, I think that's how I try to remain positive. So I think about, okay, this is reasons why we're here, because we've done such a good job. People are well fed in our country, which is a good thing. I hate to see what hunger looks like. I don't want to know that. I don't want our people to experience that, And so, it is concerning, though, however, that the sheer numbers of people that are feeding people is going down in our country. So it's something that is alarming. And
we were talking recently when we were talking about the whole formatting of your game perspectives. Do you see kind of what we were talking about as far as like trying to get more consumers involved in engaging more consumer conversations, getting more activity and that sort of thing?
It's so difficult because our nation's polarized right now. And I saw it happen when on My Job Depends on Ag on our Facebook page. We did a lot of people. We had a kind of a great movement starting at the beginning. People from all different political spectrums, but the election season and the election of Donald Trump, it really put people in different camps, and it's hard. I've always felt that agriculture should never be a right or left argument. Fundamentally, we all need to eat, and fundamentally, we all want clean, healthy, abundant, nutritious food. We have a starting point. Getting back to that starting part's been difficult because there's a lot of peripheral, noise out there. But and sometimes because of that, I guess with our Facebook page and social media, sometimes that appears to people who are on the outside, who may have had an open ear that think that this is just more of a political page. Because sometimes I don't think people with our consumers. I would love to meet people who have joined our page, and I come across them a few times that have joined the page and really been. I appreciate what you guys are doing. I have a very a more clear picture, clarity to what your concerns have been. I may not agree with you always on politics, but I agree that it makes sense for us to use this region here because it's nature's greenhouse in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no, exactly.
And what we can do on a per acre basis here is just tremendous.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I recently was able to catch the first episode of the documentary, and it's just awesome.
Oh, you like that?
Yeah, it was super cool. So, in that process of creating the documentary,
Yeah.
what part of that was like your favorite part of that?
What's really cool about I hope a lot of people get this, the documentary. When Jeff approached us, we went out on my part. He went out to Dawes Palace and he says, "Hey, I just need to get some screenshots and a little bit of film so I can show potential sponsors of the show what it may look like." So he comes out, and I had no idea that, I was going to be asked to speak a whole lot on stuff. I think it was going to be some short and sweet stuff, maybe about how our page got started, right? But then he's very smart because I'm not one that likes to talk on camera a lot. We're not professional speakers. And or anything to that matter. So he just basically put a camera in my face and just talk about simple things that are from your heart, like how was your upbringing, your childhood, and whatnot. So those things are all right here. They come from here. They're in your brain and they're in your heart. And all of a sudden you realize after you start talking that now you're relaxed. You just spoke pretty well, and it just was easy because it's something that you don't need to rehearse.
Right.
And I was feeling like I need to rehearse some of these things for the show. And what was crazy, you haven't seen the last one, but the last one is about why I love to farm. And he took some of the conversation I had then and made a show. I didn't even know I was going to be in the last one about why I love to farm. And it was really cool how he did it. It came together very well, and I didn't even know he was going to do that until he says, "Hey, give me some family photos and stuff for the last show." And so yeah, it's been pretty cool.
Do you think having that personality, like the more personal messages in the show, is having a positive impact on how consumers?
I hope so, because one thing that I've learned over the years or experienced personally is if you're on an airplane or you're at a dinner party or at a wedding reception or you go to your wife's high school reunion or something like that. These just examples of when you come in contact with people you may not really know. You sit down at the dinner and say, "Hey, what do you do?" And someone says, I sell real estate. I'm in real estate. What do you do?" "Well, okay." They ask me, "Well, I farm." Or, what else?" "I farm and I own a custom agriculture spraying business." "Oh, you spray?" "Well, what is that? What are you doing out there?" So when I get done, they're curious, number one. Number two is when they hear firsthand information from me, oftentimes they walk away thankful. And I did not realize that was really what's going on out there. And when it's a personal level, they know it's not bought. I think a lot of it, people are just going to not listen because the idea that what's being shown to them is being paid for. So there's this sense of there's no believability in it because there's a name behind it. Whether it's on some people, it's Monsanto. Well, can't believe anything anybody has ever said if it has that, and vice versa, right? We can't believe anything that someone says about this issue because it's this name here. So I think on a personal level, remove all pretext of money and anything like that. It's just a simple conversation that resonates.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So I think my final question for you
Okay.
would be, do you see kind of, with your pursuits and with what I'm doing with some of the other groups, like the Harvest, for example,
Yeah.
do you see a bright future for, educating consumers?
I'm extremely positive that we can do this. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you see, this farm show is one of the things that always is crazy. You see kids coming that are in their FFA classes, and they come in, they're not, parents are farmers. I connect with those because my backstory as I wasn't a farmer, but they're curious and they're interested. And there was yesterday, some gals came from Southern California. They're never had any farm. They're ones in Orange County, and they're part of this business first time at the ag show, and they got some stuff called Crop Spray 1. If you're around, you might want to go visit their booth because tell them they came in and talked to us. But just hearing their story and hear what they're up to, it's just pretty cool. Yeah.
No, I
Yeah.
definitely agree.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
All right.
It's always nice to hear from you. Always great message. I'm sure I'll be back next year again.
Right.
Another interview. Gotta keep the tradition going.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
For any of you that don't watch the documentary or aren't familiar with the page, make sure you go check it out.
Yeah,
It's
please do.
It's an awesome show. It's a great project you guys are working on.
Thank you.
Really happy.